All right, guys. How's the food? Is it delish? Yay! All right. Well, welcome to the Change Project's Workforce Development course graduation. Yeah, I want to hear it. Like, let's hear it. I'm so genuinely excited to celebrate the culmination of this last 2 months, this journey, this experience with you guys. So I know I've introduced myself to just about all of you at this point, but I am Erica Ballesteros, the founder of the Change Project and the creator of this course that your amazing human beings have had the chance to experience here now for the last couple of months. So before I share a couple details just about the program and everything and get the party started with your kiddos, I first want to honor a couple of people that are both in this room, and first and foremost our venue host, the original Golden Scone. What? So, random share about Lily and I. Lily is one of my interns. She's graduated from this program last year. We just came in and we said, hey, would you guys be interested in donating a raffle item? And they're like, let us show you back here. We were like, this is the coolest space. So we're super grateful and excited to have an opportunity to actually take this program outside of the school and into a restaurant so we can support them. I'm such an advocate of supporting local businesses. So super grateful to them for providing dinner tonight, which that's also Erica providing dinner, but anyway, you're welcome, everybody. I hope it's yummy and delicious. Yay! You're gonna get spoiled because normally I go get fries, deli sandwiches, and cooks and cookies and chips and stuff. So anyway, you're getting like the extra level. So I guess we're taking it there from now on. But so thank you again to Stacy and Dennis. They're the owners. And honestly, between doing this program at both Combs High School and ALA, it's right in the middle. So if I can continue to support them, then that just makes my heart happy. So a couple of other people I'd like to honor. Number one, Miss Holly Kapowski with H&K Photography. Holly has actually been doing in-kind donations for me for the last 2 years since I started this program. This is my 10th time. So she's actually seen this course 10 times over and all the different humans and the experiences. So she has kind of a unique experience. So if you need any photography needs, know this lady's in our community. So thank you, Miss Holly. I would also like to honor all of the sponsors that have contributed to this, whether you guys know that or not. I go out, I beat the streets, I cold call, I warm call, I do all of these things because this program is actually 100% sponsored by local businesses and people that really want to invest in the development of our youth. In addition to fundraisers, like little shameless plug, we've got an online silent auction going up until Sunday that you can get your bids on. There's been 52 items that have been donated by local companies, so everything from local restaurants like this to gym memberships to car washes, haircuts, you name it. I'll make your kids just give you the link so you can check it out. It does close on Sunday, but anyway, all of those efforts go towards contributing to you guys and helping you guys learn just these soft skills, these workforce readiness skills, everything that, not to poo-poo on formal education, but all of the things that they actually really need to go out into this big wide world. So those sponsors for this program, number one, my long-standing sponsor is the Edge Remodeling. They have been contributing $250 for every pool that they sell, and you guys may or may not know this, but pools are selling like hotcakes nowadays. So that's been really something special and meaningful to me. So I really like to honor them. Randy and Janae are the owners. They do pools and home remodels. So little plug for them. We clap a lot in the course, so just continuing that. Also, secondly, another long-term sponsor is Paige Baker. She is with Loan Depot, aka Your Valley Lender. Paige just absolutely loves this. She's got her own kiddos, so she totally understands the value of being able to invest in our youth. So a couple of other sponsors that I want to give shout-outs to. Chris Lawler with the Nova Home Loans team. He actually just kind of came on board a couple of months ago and has already contributed to 8 students, which you may or may not know this, but it's $1,250 a student. So to give $10,000 within just meeting him, he just has a big heart, and it makes me super grateful for his contributions. A couple of other ones, Sunny with Arizona Wholesale Solar. Sunny, isn't that, you guys all had a chance to meet him? Yeah, he was one of our contributing sponsors. Who ended up writing a letter to Sunny? Evan did. Sonny, stay tuned, it's coming. And then actually, he wants his name to remain nameless, but there is another gentleman who, actually one of his kiddos went through this program, gosh, 2 years ago now, and he's donated and given other raffle items and stuff as well. So Earnhardt, aka Rodeo Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, out here in Queen Creek. If you know, Earnhardt actually has Queen Creek roots, so they jumped on board to contribute to this program as well. Another long-standing relationship that I have is Legacy Insurance Services. So I used to recruit for them many, many years ago, and now they're contributing to the development of you guys. And last but not least, one other, this is kind of like special to me because there's a student in this room that not all of you may know this, but had already gone through the program this time last year. And when her mom saw really what this program had done for her daughter, and she helped me create an opportunity to get grant money with Pinal County. So Miss Steph Mack back there, I just want to give you a little shout out. She works for the Economic Development Department at Pinal County, and so that is obviously a big deal to me to get enough for, gosh, I mean, I think it's 2.5 students a quarter that I get to do that. And I want to give a couple shout outs to another part of what that money goes to. I'm able to have 2 students join me every quarter that have already gone through the program. They get to assist me. So it's like they're kind of going through the course all over again. So Miss Jasmine and Ashley, wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. They were the lovely assistants this time around, and so for any of you guys that have been checking your mail more regularly because some cards are coming in, if anyone didn't get a letter that was written to them on a weekly basis, these girls have been just instrumental to helping me. I'll give them a chance to kind of share in a little bit, and I know I sort of like casually dropped her name, but Lily graduated from the program last year this time. She has also been an assistant, and now she's a paid assistant. So she helps me beat the streets and go out and get raffle items and make calls and emails, and nobody knows how much work goes into this, but that's okay. So anyway, thank you to all those humans. One little round of applause. So just a little bit of context. I just want to share a little bit about why I even started this program before I have all of your guys come up and share what's been the value and the benefits that they've gained from it. But I actually had served for many, many years on both the Gilbert and the Queen Creek Chambers Education Committee. And one sort of thing that kind of kept talking about over and over and over was our youth, they're just not employable, they don't have confidence, they don't know how to interview, they can't even articulate themselves. And it was just, I'm totally like ragging on our committees, but anyway, like, I mean, these are problems and that need to be solved, right? And so I had been in the recruiting and training and development industry for 15 plus years, and I had been facilitating a lot of courses that were in business and sales and life skills, and had done a lot of stuff that you guys now know are all from Gallup strengths. And I just sat back and I thought, well, how can I try to create a solution to help solve that? And how can I empower our youth to really give them the chance to understand how to lead a life that's more fulfilled and satisfied and just oozes achievement? And I just thought, well, how can I do this? And so I literally just got this, without being all hokey with you guys, I had a meditation one night and I just said, you got to do something about it. And so I woke up the next day and I started writing like, what would be week 1, what would be week 2, and I just pulled all this content and curriculum from all the things that I'd been exposed to and done in my career. And so this journey that these students have been on, you know, now they get a chance to understand what are my unique strengths and how do I cultivate them, how do I develop them to really maximize my potential in life? How do I wake up every day and learn how to lead with purpose and learn how to set goals and not just set them, but actually achieve them, right? Like most of us adults are pretty terrible at that. So how do I learn how to better communicate and listen and understand other human beings, right? Because we all aren't the same, right? We think differently, we understand the world differently, yet we all expect each other to understand what's going on in each other's minds, and that's just not fair, right? So how do we solve problems and make decisions that actually serve us, right? Like whether it's with our siblings or actually within an organization or a team. How do I handle all of life's crazy emotional ups and downs, which is probably one of the biggest one, especially with all that we've gone through this last year. They get to learn so much about resiliency skills. And then, of course, the last few sessions that you guys have all had the chance to experience now is, you know, how to gain some interviewing skills, and not just like, hello, let me shake your hand, but like, hey, what kind of environment or culture or leader could I work under that could draw out my greatness? Because that's important, right? I told them, I joke around all the time, like, you could go flip burgers right? But there's so many burger joints, right? If you step into one, you're like, no, I don't want to work here, right? Like, I want to work for this kind of leader and that kind of environment. It gives them clarity. And if they've got that clarity, now they know what's going to be good for me, right? Like, we want them to contribute and be meaningful, productive contributors within organizations, but how do they do that, right? If they don't have that sense of self-awareness. And so then they get to learn from all these cool local leaders that come in, and they share their unique stories and all the things they messed up on in life, and the things they kind of did right, the things they're still trying to figure out. And then they get to learn how to build a resume that really helps them articulate what's my unique value. How can I effectively market myself? Right? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but 20 years ago, there wasn't googly woogly, so I was like, how do I build a resume? I don't know. Like, even still, you still have that, but it's still stressful. It's annoying. It's annoying for adults. So I wanted to create a whole program, and when I pitched it to 3 different school administrators in the Queen Creek area, I was like, look, all I need is a room and an opportunity to go in and see what kind of students would have an interest in being a part of this. And I'll go out and I'll get funding from the business community who keeps complaining about our youth, so let's develop them, right? Let's get them to invest in the development of them so then we can help groom their future workforce. And there's a lot of companies coming out there. Steph would know this. There's a lot of big companies coming out, especially in Pinal County, right? And so if we don't have the talent that can serve their needs, then they will be remiss, right? So how do we change that? So I have launched this program 2 years ago, this time 2 years ago, and have worked with now almost 90 students. And so I've been super grateful to get a chance to work with all of our youth. And candidly, I care so much, and I'm so passionate about developing, just seeing their growth. They're like sponges. They're like, feed me, Seymour. Like, I want to learn that. And I love that. I think it's beautiful. And I think that tonight you'll get a chance to hear from them personally, what has this program been for them, right? What have they gained? What are they going to reach in their lives because of it? And how are we going to help transform that? So I just want to thank all of you parents for taking your time to come here tonight. I wouldn't mind if you guys, the kiddos here, like, let's give them a round of applause, right? Like, they work hard. They work hard at helping you. And there's a few more people I want to shout out just before we move on. I've got my own 2 kiddos here. They just love coming everywhere I bring them. Just kidding. No. So I got Diego and Mateo are my 2 dudes. They're in 8th and 6th grade. Here, you guys want to give them a wave? Yeah! Look enthused. And lastly, one of my longtime friends, my mentors, he's one of my board members on my nonprofit, which is a funding funnel for this program, Mr. Bob Sunny with Aurora C Electric. So, Bob is like a mentor to me, and I call him all the time, and we just chat about a million things. And, again, it's these leaders that have had all of these companies that want to be able to share their time and all of their stories with our youth so that they can figure out, like, what the heck do I do tomorrow? I don't know. Frankly, I feel like we put a lot of pressure on our youth to try to figure out who they are. And my goal first is to help them figure out who they aren't, right? And then we can start to help them with understanding and identifying who they are. So everybody, all of you guys, I know you're familiar with these waiting to speak chairs, but I just want to give you a heads up. Tonight's going to be a little different. No pressure. Dun, dun, dun. So normally, just to give you guys an idea, these chairs are kind of what we use when the students are ready to speak and share the action steps that they were able to apply from the session before. Then they come on up to these chairs. This group has been really incredible, by the way. I have some groups that, like, the chairs remain empty, and I just look at everybody like, who am I going to call out? But guess what? This group, they're such good rule followers. I love you guys for that. Anyway, shout out to you guys. So tonight what we're going to do is I'm going to call the first 3 students' names, and then we're going to have Miss Ashley. She's going to tap you on the shoulder when it's your turn to come up to the chairs. So just so you guys know, I've got this lovely sign here who many of you may not be able to see, but that's okay. The students know what they're able to talk about. Okay, so their final session share, what their action step is tonight is, number 1, to share a personal growth benefit that they have gained from this course, which is tough because there's so many. It's hard to pick one. Number 2, how it has influenced their life and prepared them for the workforce. Number 3, what personal goals they'll reach because of the course. And lastly, what their commitment level is to continued growth, right? Because we could read these amazing books, we could watch a great audio or documentary, and all of a sudden, poof, it vanishes, right? So the purpose of this being a 9-week course is so that they can actually build habits, build positive success habits that help them understand how to do life and how to be a better contributor in the workforce. So that's a part of it, and I don't want that to stop after this, right? So anyway, let's get the party started. Are you guys ready? Okay, so the first 3 names, if you wouldn't mind coming on up. First up is Jocelyn. Jocelyn. Yay, Jocelyn. Jaquarius. And Miss Kate. Are you ready, Miss Jocelyn? Kind of, sort of, not really. Okay, so one thing that we practice in the course is that we really truly can be affected by positive and negative emotions. And so one thing I do when I'm facilitating is I'm like, you got this, you got this. Like in my head, I'm sending that message to students, and it kind of just like, oh, wow, I can feel that, right? Like the energy's all around us all the time. We can feel when people are in a funk. We can feel when they're uplifted. And so if we give her those positive thoughts and say, you got this, girl, like she's going to be like, okay, I do. Okay. Are you ready? Okay. I'm going to hand it over. Let's hear from Miss Jocelyn.
All right. So a personal growth I've had from this course. So before I took this course, I was trying to figure out what my specific strengths were. Working? Oh, yeah. Okay. And it really just helped me like hone in on those strengths. That was like that was a huge thing for me, because sometimes I was like, whenever I think about going into the workforce, I was like, I don't know. I don't feel like I have like the normal, like what you'd expect out of people, you know, in the workforce. Like you have to be organized and you have to do this, but I realized you don't have to be that way. You can be yourself. And what's the next thing?
Cheater, screen here.
How it's influenced my life. I don't know. I've just seen a lot of different benefits from it. Like I've been, especially with my interactions with other people.
Don't mind.
Yeah, in my interactions with other people, I've been able to see how my different strengths work with those people, and been able to gain more confidence with the way I present myself. So, personal goals, I just feel way more prepared to not only like get jobs, but also to like go to college and pursue what I really like have passions for. And then, my commitment level, past 10, I don't know, like, I just really liked this course, and I honestly wish I could, like, have everybody in the entire world, because I just want to share it with everybody, because it's that cool, so.
Let's hear it. Mess up at least once, so just so you know, like, that was supposed to happen first. See, let's look at how. Woo! Yay! Miss Jocelyn. So just to read Jocelyn's strengths, because they're super powerful, and I know maybe some of you know about Gallup's strengths and some of you don't, but Jocelyn has some of the most beautiful combination of strengths: connectedness, positivity, input, context, and futuristic, and that sort of means just like words right now to you. But I will tell you that, you know, time and time again, one of the ones that really stood out a lot to me, well, I would say the combination of them is positivity and connectedness, because Jocelyn has this like beautiful way of lifting people up around her. Her family members, the people in the course, the experiences that she would both share. whether it be the digital coaching tool that we use or just me witnessing her in the guided group discussions, it was super beautiful. And one of the very top areas that she wanted to gain in this program was getting a chance to learn how to utilize her strengths to really maximize her potential. And the awareness that she had and the ways in which she would sort of articulate her thoughts and her feelings related to that, it was just, that's the goal of this. Because when we understand when we're operating in alignment with our strengths, it helps raise our well-being, our productivity, every bit about the ways that we just go out and enjoy life. So to see her do that in action and to also get those intros to local leaders, by the way, I can't wait. I've got a contact that's over at News Channel 3, little plug there. But anyway, she talked about wanting to get into journalism, and I've got some contacts, and that really is meaningful to me too, is, okay, what's next? Or like, who do I connect with? And so if I have connections, I'm going to make them. So I just want to thank you for being such a beautiful soul, for the ways that you expressed your heart, your feelings, and the ways that you just elevated the room when you walked into it. So let's give a big round of applause to Ms. Johnson. Next up is Jaquarius. What?
Here. What about this, Holly? No. Sorry.
It just starts.
So, personal growth that I've benefited from is that I've been a lot more confident in speaking about like business or just interviewing. I'm able to know my strengths and what I can do, and that's given me more confidence and able to say what my strengths really are. And I'm able to speak on my strengths and let the people that are trying to hire me, or not trying to hire me, know what my strengths are so that they can benefit out of the strengths that I have, rather than me giving some bluff and saying some random stuff and then them hiring me and being like, this dude's not that good. It's influenced my life because it's just a great course. You're able to learn so much, and not only in the workforce are you learning stuff, you're learning stuff about how to interact with day-to-day people and help you know your own strengths, and just conversating with people and able to tell what kind of person they are just by talking to them. A personal goal that I've reached because of the course would be I'm able to know my strengths. Really, that's a big thing about this course is you learn your strengths. Those are your strengths. You are going to be stuck with them for your life, It's something that can be very useful to know because you can take those strengths and apply them to things that can be useful because of those strengths. So that's something good that I really took out of this course. My commitment level, I would say like a 9 to a 10.
The honest answer.
I love this course.
Yo, Aquarius. I think, was it week 1 or week 2 when you rolled in with that goat hoodie? What was it? Week 1, 2? Yeah? Anyway, I like immediately was like, yeah, because if any of you are Patriots fans, I'm like a big Tom Brady fan. I grew up in Southern Maine, and my son, we got that for him for Christmas, and so I was like immediately like, oh man, I'm gonna like this guy. So, a couple things about Jaquarius. I think that's the beautiful part is one of the things he talked about, which our youth, by the way, I don't even think I spoke like this when I was in high school, but he talked very first is, I want to learn how to live with purpose. And that verbiage, by the way, like that vernacular, that thought process, it just wasn't something that happened, 20, 30, 40 years ago, right? It was like, I want to be a worker bee and go get my paycheck and come back home, provide for my family, right? Like, no, like, I know we poo-poo a lot on this younger generation, but the reality is why? Like, who doesn't want to live with purpose? Who doesn't want to wake up and enjoy going to work? And I think what you just talked about, Jaquarius, like, we're born with these natural talents. And it's up to us to figure out what are the skills and the experience and the knowledge and the ways that we can intentionally invest in our time to develop them so that we can intentionally, on purpose, enjoy the quality of life that we lead. So just to share Jaquaris's strengths: adaptability, restorative, harmony, intellection, and consistency. Now, a lot of times people that have harmony also do have restorative, and harmony is like, they're just these sweet souls. Like, you kind of just feel a good vibe when you're around them, and that's Jaquaris. Like, he just has a good, cool vibe. And those that have restorative, like, they're so good at naturally being able to solve problems and help friendships out and other teams out. And so those strengths are such an asset to any organization or a group of people or family, and I'm sure that your family can kind of attest to that, right? Like, there's a lot of things about us that we add value to, and sometimes differently, right? Sometimes it's different at home, but for Jaquaris, like, I mean, you were always one of the first students to speak. And I know sometimes, like, getting up and do this in front of an hour room, like, you're like, what is it, Rob? You know, like, but he was always so eloquent. And the things that he would share, the ways that he applied the action steps, I was like, yeah, like, because if someone starts and sets the tone that way, like, it's amazing what happens to the next student, and the next student, they're like, okay, well, he said that, I better go here today. You know, like, it's cool what happens, and that's a part of the beauty of this program, is just to give them a chance to understand, how can I go out and understand how to apply these things so it can impact my life. And you really did that, and that's the reason why you were the week 1 winner. You know, like, it's just a beautiful example of the ways in which that you were like, no, I'm committed, right? I really love what you shared on even the, you know, what did I gain from this course? Like, it was just like, made me like an emotional sap earlier, and I was like reading everybody's like preparing for today, and you're just a sweet soul, and I'm just so proud of you and all the things that you've gone through and where you're at. I just am grateful that I got the chance to know you, so thank you, Mr. Jaquaris. Next up is the lovely Kate. Hey. Yeah, give your kiddos a big old shout out.
We take all pictures. Here, I'm gonna like hide
this. First of all, I want to say thank you to Erica for most part, because without her, none of us would be here. We wouldn't be learning so many things. We wouldn't be the people who we are. So please, for Erica. So, for me, one of the, right? Okay, yeah. So, I've learned so much about myself. You guys would be so surprised how many things you can learn about yourself. You're like, oh, I already know myself. No. You don't know yourself like how Erica has taught us to know about ourselves and how to learn about other people. So by learning about myself, learning my strengths, learning qualities and how I can adapt with other people, I've been able to be more efficient in things that I want to do, like setting goals and actually accomplishing them. I'm able to do that and know how it's most effective for me personally. So thank you for teaching us all these things. I love that. So we can actually do things that we want to get done. And not just say, oh, I need to do this, but actually know what steps to take to be able to do that. So that's something I really, really love from this course. How it has influenced me in my life and for the workforce, it's pretty much the same thing. And I know what is best for me, what kind of jobs, what kind of responsibilities are really good for me, and how I'm able to accomplish them. So I'm able to know things that are for me, that are efficient, that are just, they're going to lead me in the right way. And now I also do, like everyone else said, I feel more confident to be able to go work, because now I know, I didn't know that I need to know this, but now I do know, and now I have these skills so I can help out my employers, whoever they may be, in any way that they need me to. And personal goals that I'll reach, first of all, I'm trying to get my driver's license, and this has given me a lot of more motivation to get it done, to get more steps towards my goal. And I've also learned how to become more harmonious with other people, how to adapt to them, and how to create the best relationships so we can all like combine and fit together in a good way. And then my commitment level, yes, 10 much more that I can do now that I know this. I feel more confident that I can accomplish these things that I want to do. So it's been amazing.
Are you kidding me, guys? So this is why I get so inspired, because you hear someone speak like that and you're like, oh, like, thank you, Kate, for being you. Now, we had a chance yesterday I'm gonna get emotional. We had a chance yesterday, sorry, I'm a big sap, to talk after course, and, you know, the gratitude that I get a lot from students is what drives me and motivates me, because that's just it. Like, they're gaining the skills that we as adults, like, not to rag on us, but we're messy for a reason. We didn't get this stuff growing up. And so, you know, here we are just being hateful and nasty and negative in so many ways in this world. And when you get a chance to say, no, let's build a different foundation. How can we build thriving and prosperous communities if we don't build the people driving it? And so when I think of someone like Kate, I mean, she's just going to be a natural leader. Kate's strengths, by the way, harmony, restorative, individualization, learner, relator. I mean, goodness gracious. Like, what she did right away, individualization, relator, like, she's drawing out my greatness and honoring that in me. And she did that time and time again. Oh, sorry. With all the other students in her group. And just that beautiful way she spoke. Like, we tend to talk in our own strengths. Like when she talked about everything being harmonious. Well, that's because harmony is one of her top strengths. It's actually number one. So when you think about that, like, it's almost mystifying. Why didn't we get this growing up, right? You know, and, you know, to hear her share, you know, I wanted to learn how to achieve goals. That was the number one thing that she mentioned, you know, going through the program. And I mean, this girl's got just amazing confidence, and she's just someone who I just look at and I just think, oh my God, like, will you be my next intern? Like, I just adore this entire program and the ways in which I get to watch these little humans just grow and look and absorb and sit back and go like, yes, thank you, I needed that, I wanted that, and I can't wait to use it. So let's give Kate a massive round of applause. Thank you so much. Next up is Maxwell, aka Max.
So I came in not really knowing we were really gonna do this, so it was kind of a big surprise. But I would say a big personal growth that I've learned from this course.
You just have to hold it up closer.
I know.
Sorry.
Hello. It would definitely be learning my actual strengths, because I kind of went into the course not really knowing any of my strengths, and just that boost of finding out. What's wrong with? Okay, hello. I wasn't sure what I was gonna really get out of my strengths, but as I learned what they actually were, I learned to utilize them in like my everyday life and better those strengths, and how it influenced like my life and being prepared for the workforce. Just utilizing those strengths, I was able to actually get a job. I was struggling for a while trying to get a job, and Erica actually helped me with my resume, and just when she gave me that resume, I was like, wow, I was like kind of way behind what I was supposed to do, and just having that, it just helped a lot, so thank you for that. And personal goals that I've reached is actually going out and getting a job, because that was a big goal of mine for a while. So just learning that goal, or just doing that goal, was a big accomplishment, and it just felt pretty great. I would say my commitment level would be a 10. I know I learned a lot from this course, and I really wasn't expecting to, but a lot came out of it. So thank you.
Let's hear it for Matt.
Is it on? Is it on? Okay. I think you do have to hold it closer, just so you know. Selfishly, I love when I get to see their faces for the first time. So I was like, oh my God, Max, oh my gosh. So Max came to me after the very first session. He was like, hey Erica, I was wondering if you could look at my resume and help me with it. I was like, wait, that's session 8. And then I had to like pump my own brakes and I was like, no, he's like asking me right now. And so he sent me in and I was like, okay, here's what I would tweak. Let's add your strengths to it, and so here he is in the middle of the course going out and getting a J-O-B. So I was super happy for him because at the end, like, why would I deny him that opportunity, right? To help work on that. And that's a big part of what I'm trying to do, not because I need to wait until session 8. He's coming to me session 1. Like, that's so awesome. So let me share Max's strengths: arranger, responsibility, input, restorative, and individualization. And I absolutely love that a couple of things that he wanted to gain from the get-go. One was learning from local leaders. And I could tell when we did yesterday's session that the leaders that had come out had really left a lasting impression on him. And he mentioned one of the leaders who's someone that actually was in one of the very first adult courses that I ever facilitated, I want to say 5-6 years ago, and he was just the most incredible human being. He had worked for someone else, and then he started his own company last year during a COVID year. And he talked about, that he really got impressed by Bill sharing that, he really was able to grow from his failures. And I think that's an important message to share with our youth, because sometimes, we get the depression, the anxiety, all of the issues that we have with our youth today is because they don't feel okay with failing. And I don't know about you guys, but I failed a ton back in my high school years. And so it's like, where did that message come from? And why are your youth feeling it more and more now? We need to change that. We need to fail, right? Like, those are the things that we grow and we learn from. And I think that for you to kind of take that and run with it, that was a big part of that input strength is like, ooh, I'm curious by that. I'm fascinated by that. Let me understand that more. And I think that when Max would get up and speak, and he would often be, hustling to get here when he was dealing with wrestling and stuff. And so I want to give kudos to you for making that effort and doing what you had to do to get things done. Even when you were like, Erica, I haven't gone to Habit yet. I'm like, well, get in there, man. Like, that's a digital coaching tool that we use. That's a big part about how these students earn the money as well. And so I just want to give him some props and thank Max. So a round of applause for Max. So speaking of not seeing people's faces, like when I saw Senor Carlos sitting here, I was like, no, not his brother, Carlos. And I was like, oh, that's actually Carlos, because I've never seen from here down. And so I was like, what? That's what he looks like? Okay. So, Mr. Carlos, are you ready?
I wasn't expecting this at all, and so the first one is a personal growth benefit. So a personal growth benefit I've learned from this class is just learning more about people, especially the 5 strengths. It's really helped me understand people more. I've seen the strengths come out of my classmates time and time again, and it's honestly been really cool, and I'm surprised that it actually was accurate, because I wasn't expecting it to be some kind of personality test or something like that. So yeah, that was cool. Sorry.
It's okay. How has it influenced your life and prepared you for the workforce?
So it's definitely helped me. It's influenced my life by just giving me a deeper understanding of people, just working with people, talking with people, and understanding what they see the world as, what they view the world as, and stuff like that. And what personal goals will I reach because of the course? Definitely getting a job and working alongside people, because I definitely feel more prepared to get a job now than I did before I started the course. And my commitment level, if from day one I've said that my whole thing is just working on myself, improving on myself. So you already know my commitment level's a 10.
Carlos. So, okay, here's the thing. Whenever I have a mix of of students. I've got some that, just got oodles of confidence or extroverts, and then those that are like my little Mickey Mouses and they're introverts and they're like, crap, I gotta speak. Okay, so I think Carlos, what his share was today was probably like the combination of all 8 weeks combined. So I just want to first acknowledge that, Carlos, because that's so huge, right? Like speaking in front of people, by the way, public speaking is the number one fear, even over death, right? Which is crazy, and the big root of that is just we're fearing judgment of others. And that's too bad, but at the end of the day, that's a part. I don't say that, hey guys, in addition to learning these workforce skills, you're also gonna get a chance to learn how to publicly speak. So that's a part of why every single week they get up in front of the group and they share their action steps to be able to break that fear down. So I want to give him some major props for doing that. If you wouldn't mind just acknowledging that before I share more. Even just what Carlos shared, let me read his strengths really quickly. Restorative input, consistency, intellection, and focus. And Carlos, the number one thing he wanted to gain was learning more about his strengths. And of course, just having resiliency skills, which I feel like, I think we all could use like a healthy dose of that. But the insight and the awareness and the way that he spoke, even just now, learning how to understand others. Like, it was like, he was one of my students that was at home learning, and he was like, hey, is this okay? Can I come in and do this? And I was like, well, heck yeah. Like, if you're cool with coming to the school after hours, then I want to open up that door for you, because you have just this sweet, soft soul, and you have all these things that you would say, even though they were like super quick and to the point. But in the group discussions, that was where I would like hear you talk about things. And I think a couple of weeks ago, when Kate asked you like, hey, do you feel like you're sort of overcoming that? And you were like, yeah, and so I just thought that was pretty, and that's the big cool part is like the guided group discussions are where the youth get to learn from each other, right? Their successes, their failures, and that's a part of how we do learn from each other. So Carlos, I just want to give you a big massive round of applause. I'm proud of you, man. So the next two speakers are actually, they are not joining us live, but they are joining us virtually. So, whoa, sorry. Didn't know that was going to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn this amazing big screen over here towards you, which you're probably not going to see, but at least they can see you.
Just like hold it.
So Miss Cheyenne, are you ready to chat? Are you got your camera on or what?
I'm gonna find where the actual speaker area is. Start talking and we'll figure it out, Cheyenne. Where is it?
Yeah.
Say hello, hello, hello. Oh, yes, it's down here. Okay, go.
Now you can go.
Crap, I don't know where it is. We'll figure it out. Go. It's right here, guys. Now I figured it out. Sorry. Okay, now you're ready, Cheyenne. Sort of. We're just going to do what we can. Just go for it. Speak as loud as you can, girl. Yes, please. It's your turn. You're okay.
Why sometimes I think the way I do, and why I feel I have to do something that makes me change or a purpose on the world because of my strengths. I guess it's made me it's opening my eyes to like but it really shows you how sure we all come from like different types of like races, ethnicities, but how like you can take a bunch of people in like a big room and like you can like learn a lot about everyone just by like taking like simple things as like their strengths and stuff. So I don't know, it was like kind of like a really big eye opener about like other people, about like maybe why I don't connect as well with like other people, and also things like before this program I got a job like a week or two before this program, and it really showed me like maybe why I don't like my job as much as I do, because I kind of just like threw myself in there. I was like, I just want a job. I also like really learned about like myself. And then, I guess it's influenced my life in like many positive ways, and it's prepared me for like the workforce. But like, I can't just like quit my job right now because I don't have any money. But like, because I'm getting a this experience, but it shows me like in the future of like what I need to look for and like where I'm gonna be valuable and like be good for like not just myself but like my other employers. And then like the personal goals that I'll be able to reach because of this course is like I'll be able to like Kate said like actually like work through my goals, like actually like finish with them. Like, hey, I'm gonna do this, but actually proceed and through. And then I guess my commitment level to like continual growth and like keep working on myself and growing as like an individual, but also as like a team player was probably like a 9 or 10. So.
All right, let's hear it from Miss Cheyenne. I'm gonna stand. I don't want to stand with my butt towards everybody else. Let's do this later. So Cheyenne has a very strong and driver type style personality pattern, and hold on this way so she can see my face. So Cheyenne's strengths: futuristic, achiever, learner, focus, and positivity. And I think the achiever in you, oh my gosh, like even the opportunity, she's like, hey Eric, I'm in an entrepreneurship class right now and I've got these sugar scrubs, like how can you help me? And I was like, ooh, let's do this, you know, like she's trying to make that happen, and I want that to happen for her. And I think, you know, even though you've had to miss the last couple sessions, including this, I know you're super bummed because we've been talking. I think you applied what, a year plus ago, like, and every time I reach out, I'm like, how about now? How about now? How about now? And it was like volleyball and all these other things. And so I just want to thank you for sticking to it, but I also want to thank you for the ways in which, like, you know, you got to a point where you understood, like, hey, this is just kind of who I am, like a little bit more thick, straight to the point, not thick, thinking the way that you are, you're a little bit more straight to the point, right? When you have other friends that are a little bit more emotional and need some of that love, like, I think that was a big takeaway for me, was what you understood about friendships and people and humans and what we all need and the ways that we process information differently and think differently, and you just had a way of really helping others execute that. So I just want to give Cheyenne a big shout out. Wish you were here, girl. And forgive us for this part of it, but hey, we wanted them to still enjoy the experience, and so we're on a laptop and we're holding up a microphone to it, but hey, we get creative and we do weird things sometimes. So Gaymont, I'm gonna have you move back here actually. So next up is Brooklyn. Brooklyn. I don't know why I always say that. I think I'm so ghetto. Sometimes like I'm just like a 90s hip hop girl. But anyway, she probably doesn't even know that reference, but I always say it. So Brooklyn, are you ready to chat? I hear your thing is on mute or you're frozen. Hopefully not. We'll see. Oh, okay. All right, Brooklyn, you're up, girl.
Okay, so a personal growth I've had is, I know everyone else has said this, but I've been able to figure out to understand myself more and understand other people and the way their mind works, which is something that's always interested me. That's not the point though. So, it's prepared me for the workforce because I've never been able to understand how to write a resume, and just understanding what companies are looking for in their employers and what I should be looking for that's what I've learned from it. It's been so great. Personal goals is understanding what I'm going to need and what drives me and what I'll have to do to get where I want to be in life. And honestly, my commitment level is a 10. I want to keep getting better.
All right, well, let's hear it for Brooklyn. You can put the laptop. She doesn't have to wait to be seated. She's already seated. You guys don't know this, but just to share like a random tidbit, one of the things that I always show them is, okay, how else can we honor human beings? And a part of that is I don't want a student walking back to their seat and I'm talking to their back. I want to give a chance to like look in their eyes and give them the share, the feedback and the suggestions, everything that I see about them. And I love and appreciate so much, a part of what you shared, Brooklyn, like that last session that we had yesterday, like learning how to build a resume, like that is such a stressful thing. I mean, especially in the 10.5 years that I spent recruiting, like, how many stinking resumes I've had to tweak over the years? I'm like, no. Like I joked with them yesterday, like I've had people get hired for jobs that looking at their resume in the beginning, I was like, oh my gosh, this is abysmal. We gotta work on that. And I spent a good hour plus, getting that to happen. And so at the end of the day, like it's so cool. Brooklyn's strengths: empathy, restorative, developer, adaptability. I mean, I think there's so many students that were in this program that had empathy. And that was really beautiful to see the ways in which that really elevated the room. Like people that have that natural sense of empathy and care and concern for others, there's something really sweet about it. And I think that Brooklyn, kind of like Carlos, like a little bit quick and short to the point. And, like, again, I appreciate the fact that you opened up and you shared so much more. And, kind of every week you're adding value and, coming to me and saying like, hey, how can I help you, Erica? Like that means a lot to me. So let's hear it from Miss Brooklyn. Okay, the next three coming up. Oh, look at you. Okay. Why were you waiting, guys? First up is Stephanie Mack.
Sorry.
So I just wanted to thank Erica for having us all do this. This is my second time going through, and it's very like confidence boosting personally, because for like me, I'm like very like to myself, quiet, and I don't like talk to anybody except like I'm really close to them. And right, like for this, like I'm just myself whenever I come in, and I'm just vocal with myself, open, because I know Erica and I know like some people here because they're my friends. But one personal benefit is confidence that I gain, because for like I get scared when I have to like, even I'm like scared doing this because like it's a big crowd and it's like not like me, but from being this and like going up like with the 3 chairs, it just gives me like more confidence to go out and even get a job too. And how it has influenced me for like the workforce is for like from the resume one. I didn't go to the business one because like I couldn't, but I know like we learned a lot from it, and it's for like the resume one, I like build like enough confidence to like go out and actually get a job because I'm not go out. And my personal goals is to be more vocal with myself and like out there more and get a better grip of myself. And my commitment level is like a 10 like or higher, because I have control of myself. So.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah. I like the family love. Steph, by the way, like, way to rock it again. Like, second time, like, again, Steph is like my Carlos and my Brooklyn, they're like, oh God, like, I'm gonna go up, like, and so, I get it. And so the fact that it's like, no, shake out that fear. Like, you got this. Every week we do a visualization exercise, and it's like a mental rehearsal. Like, what am I gonna say, right? Like, I don't care what I'm doing. Like, I have to mentally rehearse that, or else I feel like I'm gonna quiver in my boots if I don't do that. So kudos to you for overcoming that. So Steph's top strengths: activator, consistency, developer, empathy, belief. Developer is probably the one I feel like she speaks about most, because she really enjoys drawing out the greatness in her friends. And when you have developer strength, it's just a natural leadership quality where, by the way, she didn't say this, so I'm just going to plug it for her. She wasn't able to join us last week because she tried out for the softball team at school and got that. So let's just hear that. I feel like second time around stuff, like, you know, you talked a lot about different things in the first time, but I feel like you got a grip and a better understanding of what your strengths meant and how to utilize them, but also witnessing them in action. And that's really key because you're like, oh my God, I just used that strength in action. And you spoke about that a lot, you know, even just this last week, like, hey, this is me witnessing my belief strength. This is me witnessing how these play out in my life. And when they start to connect those dots, that's when we're like, okay, what am I not doing today? I'm probably not operating in alignment with them. And how can I create more positive emotions and more joy and more satisfaction? It's by getting back into that place and rereading the whole paragraphs that they took 45 minutes to take this assessment about. And so I just want to give Steph a shout out. I'm so grateful that you got the chance to go through this again. She had missed a couple sessions the first time around. And so let's give Steph a big shout out. Whoa. All right, our last three. Sir Evan.
You got me.
Hi. Well, I could go directly into the questions, but yeah, I'll just go directly into it. So, one of my personal growths is that I'm not the most emotional person. Even outside of school, I'm quite emotional, but in school, I'm like, the solid line is like no emotion. So, one of the things that this course helped me grow was that my ability to outwardly express emotion instead of like holding it in like a ticking time bomb and then it coming out aggravated and stuff. It's influenced my life because it's really expanded on what I could see for the future. At the beginning of the year, I wanted to get a job, and then I worked at that, and then I saw this course, and then that's why I joined the course. But halfway through, I'm like, if I can't find a job, I'll just make my own. So which works into the third one, using the $250, I was planning to found my first business, which I hope will be either successful or not fall in flames. And I would say my commitment level would be like a 10 to an apple, because you need a strange answer before everyone else ends this. So, bye.
Oh my God, it's so hard to not smile when I think of Evan because he is. Honestly, I think you definitely win the award, which my youngest son would appreciate, who gets class clown every year and looks forward to it. Like, I mean, you're hilarious, dude. Like, the things when we do this one exercise week 4 or 5 or whatever, and we call it a compliment circle. And we stand around in a circle and we talk about like what we find great about each other. And this guy, like the things that he was saying are classic and very fitting to what he just talked about. Like, he just has a way with words. So eloquent, so witty, so just incredible. And so the fact that you're like, nah, I wanna. He sends me these texts all the time, and he's like, one of them's like, oh, what advice would you give me to start a business? And I was like, that's a loaded question. Hold on, please. Like, let's have a conversation. This isn't really text worthy, but so just to share Evan's strengths: futuristic, input, ideation, maximizer, and intellection. And I know, like, again, these are like little me, but 4 out of 5 of them are all strategic thinking strengths. And a lot of times people that have those as sort of their dominant 5 or dominant 4 out of 5, like, they're not necessarily typically emotional people. And so, big deal, right? We all have to be different. And so when he talked about, hey, I want to be an architect, I want to do these things, I want to finish writing a book, I want to do this, and I was like, whoa, like, so many goals all at once. And that's because of who he is. but the maximizer is where he's going to make it happen. And so that's such a key strength for him to understand that and get to the point. I can't wait to introduce you. I have a big client supporter. Oh my gosh, I feel so terrible. They're one of the ones that I forgot to mention as a sponsor, Chase Building Team. They've been supporting this for the last couple of years. They were one of the very first outfits that actually started supporting this program, and they are one of the massive construction companies that actually build schools, amongst so many other things. And so I've got a ridiculous amount of resources that if they're not actually helping as a subcontractor doing the architecture, I've got other ones that I can't wait to help connect you with. And at the end of the day, Evan, like, sky's the limit with who you are. Like, I'm so glad I was like number 5 in your life to ever receive a hug. Special plug for Evan. So I jokingly say, like, I've had this business for 2 years and I don't really have like a formal logo. Like, I couldn't send it to a company like, hey, put this on a shirt. It's just a picture. And so a few weeks ago, we had a problem-solving workshop, and so the next week they were tasked with trying to solve a problem in their life, either person to person or within sort of function, organization, whatever. Evan literally like comes up with his sketch pad. I'm like, what's gonna happen here? And he's like, I got 3 logos that I was working on for Erica to help solve this problem. And I was like, oh my God, like, how precious. Precious. I just have nothing but amazing things to say. Like, even just seeing you, the ways that you would constantly give love and advice and suggestions. I know you didn't always want that opportunity, but to be elected the group leader constantly, there's a reason for that, man, right? Like, you might like mock yourself for this lack of emotion, but at the end of the day, like, your friends, they really feed off of the strength that you possess. So keep running with that, man. That's going to be what's going to lead you to starting your own business. So let's hear it for Evan. Next up, the one, the only, we love her name, Star.
Yay.
Those of you that are in the course know that I usually have my little notebook, but I have my phone instead this time. So, the first one, a personal growth benefit I've gained from the course. This may sound like a basic answer, but I have discovered and improved upon my strengths. I'm standing on the cord. A lot, and I've also built and improved my communication skills and my ability to understand others. Like in our course where we learned about I don't remember what it was called, but it had the 4 different personalities, like driver, amiable, stuff like that. It helped me learn to understand others more, to be able to get along with them better. And sorry. It's influenced my life and prepared me for the workforce. So I think it has really prepared me for the workforce, because I've definitely become more committed to the things I've been doing and achieving my goals, and I feel it's really bettered me as a person and helped me build new skills and make them better. And personal goals, so this is kind of a far-fetched long-term goal, but I still think this course has helped me get the motivation to actually achieve it and work towards it. I believe that I will achieve my goal of being the founder, owner, and CEO of my own video game developing business. I promise I'm not trying to copy you, Evan. I had this plan beforehand. And my commitment level, I'd say it's definitely a 10 out of 10. And I'd just like to say I'm very grateful for this course and to those that have supported me through it, and mostly Erica. She's the one that made this all possible. So thank you.
I can feel the tears brewing, so just be prepared for that. Oh, Star, thank you. I'm like so proud of Star. Like, I always say to the students, like, when I give these little journals in the beginning. It's the very first day. I'm like, hey, grab a journal, like, however they use it, whatever, right? Like, because at the end of the day, I just want them to witness things, and I want them to, whether they use it for self-reflection or they use it for getting prepared, when they see their strengths in action, and every week she gets up and she's using her journal, and I'm like, look, I have my notes. Like, I'm not think like I got it all together, but I'm constantly referring to us. We can't, like, store everything unless we're some wizard, but I love what you just talked about, and we talked about, maybe session 3, we talked about the law of attraction. And a lot of times when it comes down to manifesting anything that we want in this life, whether it's our dream home, a dream lover, or XYZ job that we want to have, create, and be our own, like, star, for you to say that, like with certainty, like, I guarantee you, like, I'm telling you, it's about taking action, it's about believing it, and just, like, literally opening up to be able to receive that. And so just putting that out there, believing it's possible and waiting for it to happen, like, I absolutely love and adore that you have that. And when I read that on your paper, I was like, shoot, like, I have a great connection with the recruiter over at University of Advancing Technology, and she sent me messages all the time. She's super sweet. I was like, you must have positivity, because she's got, like, enthusiasm for days. Like, I can't wait to connect you, because that's a school locally in Tempe that would allow for you to actually build on your gaming desires and figure out where to go with that. So I'll definitely connect you with that. A STAR's strengths: empathy, developer, adaptability, restorative, and futuristic. Star just has this, like, sweetness to her, and again, like, it's interesting because not all the time do I have, like, groups of friends that end up joining it, and so, I mean, it's definitely cool and precious, but what I love about the friendships that I've seen coming into this program is in particular the ones that you have, like, you just give, like, nothing but love to your friends, and I think that it's so sweet. And even, the whole dynamic between you and Evan, like, sometimes it's just, like, hysterical, right? But at the end of the day, like, that's what makes this program so cool, because it's always a different dynamic with different humans. And this group, like, I can't say anything because I've got girls from 3 different groups here, but, like, it just was a special one for me because you guys are super introspective and you really care and you put a lot of effort into every single week, and especially you, Star, like, I don't think there was a single time you didn't come up and share, and you didn't put effort into the action steps every week, and I just want to give you a lot of props, so thank you so much for being here. Last but not least, Miss Maylee.
Okay, so I came into this course and I was like, workforce development. And so when people have asked me the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd be like, I don't know. And so I came into this course expecting to, like, figure that out, but the benefit I got from it was not, like, actually figuring out what I want to be when I grow up, but realizing that it's okay not to know right now, because me being a freshman, right now is a time for me to explore what I want to do and explore my strengths. And that's what's so beautiful about Erica, what she does in this program, is that she takes these kids and she helps them understand what they're good at and helps them explore what they can do, and, like, gives them opportunities for different jobs. And so, yeah. And then how it's influenced me. It's definitely given me a lot more confidence, because I do not like being in the limelight, especially when I have to talk about myself or be kind of, like, vulnerable like this. But it's given me confidence in that respect, and also, like, going into interviews, it's not just, oh my gosh, are they going to give me this job? It's like, oh my gosh, do I want you to give me this job? So I don't have any specific goals I'm going to share per se, but just, like, helping because I usually have, like, a couple of goals I'm working on at the time, but it helps. Sometimes I'm a little hard on myself, and so going into this course, it helped me break them down into easy steps and also have a little more compassion on myself. And so I'd say that my commitment level for this is through the roof, because I just love bettering myself so that I can help the people around me.
Here for
Miss Maylee. OMG. So Maylee was just our award winner yesterday, and I gotta see her face. You know, here's the thing. You know, I talk a lot about my own journey with the students, and I talk about my personal life struggles, because I feel like if I can't be vulnerable and courageous, then how can I create a space where they feel safe to do the same? And, you know, sometimes we go through things and we don't know, and I love what you shared. Remember that video that we played the first week? It's like, stop worrying about who you are. Just like pause. Like, you don't have to figure it out and plot it out right now. Like, just pause and be you. You have like the most beautiful, sweet, like, I mean, it's tough because you've got your sister right here. Like, both of you, like when I would read your entries in the habit tool, I'd be like crying like a baby, like, oh my God, that was just so beautiful. But let me share why. She's got amazing strengths: individualization, futuristic, input, empathy, strategic. Individualization is one where you just have this natural, unique ability to look at the uniqueness of others. And you have this innate strength to be able to just like draw it out. And that empathy is like, oh man, you just have this like kind, sweet, caring soul. Like, oh my gosh, like every time that you would speak in front of us, but also get a chance to have the group discussions. And lastly, like it's really cool for me to have this digital coaching tool that I use, because that's where I get to help accelerate their growth and success, right? Like, and to see the things that you would put down, to hear, you know, kind of the frustration sometimes, but also sometimes the positive successes. You're right, Bailey, you don't have to figure it all out. There are a lot of adults walking around that still don't, okay? and that's okay, but you guys now have the perspective and the clarity that little by little, every little step that you take in this life, it's gonna help you, right? Like, it's gonna help you figure out what you don't want, what you do want, the things that are gonna bring you joy, the things that are like, nope. And I love that confident statement. Like, are you even gonna want me? Let me figure this out. Like, I'm good. Like, I want you to get to a place where I understand so much about who I am and whether or not I should bring the value to your organization. So thank you, Miss Mealy. I love you to pieces. So here's what we're going to do next, girls, if you wouldn't mind. So this week we are voting. They're going to hand out index cards and pens. So hop on over around here to the students. So every week we have a peer-voted win. And these are the award winners from the first 8 weeks. And we've voted on everything from Desire Award, Growth Award, Action Award. Today, you students are going to be casting your vote for the person that you really think has done such an excellent job going through this program, doing their due diligence, and the ones that you've seen really have some sensational growth. The ones that you've had the opportunity to look at and see like, holy, like I can't believe like you inspired me today, or you did this today. Like, I'm so grateful for that. So you are voting on the Change Project Award, the Overall Growth Award, the person that you sit back and think, yeah, game on. From since week 1 to now, like, this is who I'm going to cast my vote for. So you guys, we'll give you a minute. And when you're done, girls, you can go around and pick up their votes. So while Lily and I are going to tabulate votes, dun-dun-dun, I'm actually going to have, hey, Miss Ashley, I'm going to start with you. So Ashley and Jasmine have been my 2 assistants for this, and I just wanted to give them a chance to kind of share, having gone through this program already. I wanted them to just kind of get a couple minutes, or whatever, you don't have to do that, but a little bit of air time to be able to just share, hey, like, not only did I go through this program, but here's how it's benefited me, assisting and watching all these other people grow. So, Miss Ashley.
Okay. So I graduated from Erica's last session, and when she asked me if I wanted to intern, I didn't really think anything of it, besides being able to help her out, maybe learn something that I missed in the course. But I feel like, what am I trying to say? I learned more from you guys than I did from going through the course with Erica, because you guys helped me be more confident, showed me that, what do I have to say, that everybody else didn't understand, because that's what I struggled with most when I went through the course.
is I kind of felt like I was the only one who didn't really understand myself. But you guys kind of helped me realize that it was kind of an everybody problem and not just a me problem. So that helped. And you guys just grew over the course way more than I feel like I did, which helped motivate me more to try and grow more. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes, man.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I took this course over the summer and I felt like it was a very different experience being an assistant rather than a student through the course. I feel like, I guess in a way, not like a parent, but like I got to watch like, you know, other people grow that weren't, you know, my peers. And honestly, everyone in this course has inspired me in one way or another, whether it's like I'm feeling bad and one day and then like someone says something funny, or maybe I feel, you know, maybe bad about myself, but then someone else has a story. It's like, well, maybe I should be grateful that I'm not going through that. This course has also helped me in a way that, specifically the course where we get to talk to local leaders, because I was feeling down personally on that day because I wasn't accepted for a scholarship that, you know, I thought I would get, but one of the speakers did say that failure is a part of your journey. And if you don't have failure, then you're not improving. So that kind of helped me put me back in the mood to keep trying for scholarships. That's not the only one, that there's more out there. And overall, I just want to thank Erica. She's helped me in so many ways that she's gotten me a job. I just told her, I wasn't even expecting much. I told her I want to be an architect like Evan. And she got me a job with what she said, the Edge Pools and Remodeling, which I would suggest if you guys would like a pool, go with them because they're great. Very sweet, and I could permit your pool and submit it. And I just want to thank Erica for that, and it's honestly a gift that keeps on giving because I keep learning with this job and more of what I want to do with my future life and what I want to do with architecture and the different opportunities. So definitely if you can donate to her fundraising event, definitely do it.
Yeah, plug it, Jasmine.
All
right, let's take for Jasmine.
Jasmine and Ashley, let's hear it one more time. Yeah, every time I have, this is what, the third or fourth time that I've had assistants in the course, and you know, again, like the assistants, they're just like these humans, they're all different humans, and so it's so precious. They were like my little orderly students, you know, like taking the pictures, and I want to give both of them a shout out, you know, because at the end of the day, like, you know, Ashley came to one of my very first fundraisers. I met her when we were doing Nightmare on Daft Street, which was like a Halloween trunk or treat type of thing, and she comes out, I'm like, no way, like, are you gonna go through the program? And like, here she is, you know, and so it kind of meant a lot to me to have that opportunity. And Miss Jasmine, like, yeah, it was easy. She's just got these really strong dominant strengths, and so for me to be able to open up a door for her with a sponsor that just keeps giving, like like, yeah, I want to help create those opportunities for you to figure out what comes next. So let's give them up for these two ladies over here. So myself and Lily and I, we're going to announce the top 3 votes. So when you hear your name, please stand up. First up is Mr. Carlos. You just stand up over there. We'll see what happens here soon, Carlos. Next up is Miss Kate. And she was the winner during her cohort, so Miss Stephanie is the other one. Stand up, please. And I'm going to hand it over to Lily to announce the winner. You may be seated.
All right. Miss Lily.
Hello?
You got this.
Okay, so is it a winner? Is that what it's called? A winner?
The Change Project
The
Overall
Change
Growth
Project
Award.
Overall Growth Award goes to Kate.
Kate's gonna get one of my favorite books of all time, The Secret. Has anyone read the documentary, read the book? Raise your